Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to discuss the astrological energies from February 9th until February 16th as we build up to a very big and powerful Leo full moon happening on February 16th at 28 degrees. We'll be talking about that energy even more in today's podcast as there is a lot happening the middle of the month. We have a lot of movement now that all planets are direct. We have a sense of where we're ready to take steps forward and perhaps feeling more sure-footed about what we need to do. There is support for progress, momentum, really getting things done and moving things forward, and you could feel like it's easier to do so. We have strong planets in Capricorn right now with Mars, Venus, Pluto, and Mercury all in Capricorn until Mercury re-enters Aquarius on February 14th. So this strong focus on Capricorn energies is giving us confidence and strength to take care of what we need to take care of, to be on top of our responsibilities, our commitments, the areas of life where people depend on us. The sense of what I need to do and move forward is important right now. And it's also important to note that in Capricorn, an earth sign, it is about your physical reality, your physical world, everything in your environment and where your environment supports you. And if it does not, then it could feel easier to make those necessary changes. We've been talking a lot about Capricorn energies, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but we still have this focus in your chart on Capricorn. And what we're really understanding is where we want our energy to go in the world, where we want to be responsible and mature in how we show up and take care of things. And also there's this focus on what are you doing with your time on the planet? How are you spending your days? Are you in alignment with your soul purpose, your soul mission, what you feel is really your truth in this lifetime? Because Capricorn gives us that focal point of what we need to accomplish and move towards. So you could even feel that there are energies here that are very direct, meaning there's a focus. There's a sense of, I have to get this done. I need to prioritize this. I have to move some things forward, cross them off my to-do list, take care of this. So there's a seriousness with this Capricorn focus, a very ambitious energy as well. However, we also have the Sun and Saturn in Aquarius, and the Sun is always dominant because it is the brightest light in our solar system. So the Sun in Aquarius is bringing our attention to the horizon, where we're going, what we're opening up to. And it feels like we're receiving more energies, downloads, and messages around what is truly for your best and highest good at this time. We've been through a big December and January where the retrogrades were quite intense. You could have felt like you were dealing with some really big things. The energy was heavy. You had a lot to contemplate or figure out, yet there wasn't always movement. You could feel like there were some serious matters and big decisions. And now, as the planets are direct, the Sun in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius are bringing us to what is important for the long term, and opening us up to some new directions or pathways that maybe we didn't consider before. We didn't see them on the table. We didn't know they were options. Aquarius is quantum potentials. It takes us out of the everyday. It takes us out of what we've accepted as normal and shakes things up, shakes up our energy and our lives to expand us, to see even more that we didn't notice or recognize in ourselves or around us before. So I feel like what we have here is a lot of energy around new potentials and possibilities that we are ready for, that perhaps we weren't previously ready for. And that is one of the gifts of retrogrades, because retrograde energies, especially when we've had both Mercury and Venus retrograde working with Pluto, transform something permanently. And we might not always know what that is right away, but you could sense it. You could feel it. You could have something that just feels lighter or clearer to you now. You could have new openings in your energy, a new sense of what's possible. And these retrogrades come through, work with us, and then later we can feel the effects. We can feel what has shifted. It's almost like we've moved through some muck, some heaviness, some things that were really stagnant or stuck, and now they're lightening up. And you could feel a relief, or that it's easier to exhale. You could feel that there are new answers, possibilities, solutions. You could feel like the energy is finally moving, and it feels like it's actually being integrated. That whatever was meant to come through for you is coming through in a way that allows you to integrate it. And for some people, it could be happening slowly. For others, it could feel like it's happening quickly. But what I'm sensing is that we were cracked open. These retrogrades were so intense with the conjunctions to Pluto, and Pluto is the transformer. Pluto evolves us. It shows us where we've been limiting ourselves, held back in a place of unconscious disempowerment. And then when the personal planets interact with Pluto, they go deeper into our psyche, and we feel something, we sense something, we have new messages coming through or coming up that are wildly uncomfortable and feel bigger than us, feel out of our control. But Pluto offers the promise of returning you to a higher place of understanding, higher consciousness, and that eternal connection to your power and your light. So what we're moving through reveals where we were ready to be cracked open, to see something differently, to maybe alleviate any pressure, alleviate anything that we were feeling stuck under or stuck at, and to show us what needed to shift or change in a way that we're finally ready for. So I feel like what we are opening up to are these higher energy frequencies that feel more detached. There feels like a level of detachment where maybe you can see yourself in a new way or in a new light. You see what you were moving through. You see what the lesson was. You see what you had to learn or understand or move through. It feels like there's something rising up within us that has a very beautiful wisdom to it, where it can help us detach and not take anything personally, and to just see it as this was an energy I needed to experience to get me to the other side of something. And that's what I'm feeling around both December and January with the very intense retrogrades, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. They moved us over a hurdle. Something was pushed through, like you were able to get to the other side of something. And maybe that is something only you're aware of. Maybe it's very clear or obvious in your life, but we were able to understand more of what was holding us back. And then there was this big universal push to get us on the other side. This energy is going to be increasing. The momentum is going to be gaining. And it feels like it could have been something really big and powerful. It could have been something that needed to crack open. You needed to see it. You needed to be uncomfortable and be in that place so that you could really get into the heart of something. So I feel like part of February keeps us moving forward. We keep accelerating, but with all planets direct, there's more momentum and support for what you're ready to move towards over the next few months. Now, this strong energy in Capricorn is about doing, showing up, making progress, getting things done. It's less about wishing and hoping, observing, daydreaming. I mean, this is energy that wants to accomplish, wants results, wants progress. And you could feel that in your own life. You could feel that in your own body and energy, is that you're ready to move things forward in whatever ways that looks for you. And it can also feel easier to do so, that it's much easier now to get things done, cross them off your to-do list and move it forward, because now there is more flow and acceleration as well. On February 11th, Mercury will make its third and final connection to Pluto in Capricorn at 27 degrees. And this can show you even more of what you've been reprogramming. This Mercury conjunct Pluto has been intense, and it has shown us more of the power of our minds, the power of our stories that we create, the assumptions or expectations we have, shows us where our mind goes and what we can do to be more detached and aware of the power of the mind. And I feel like this final conjunction to Pluto, as it trines the North Node in Taurus and sextiles the South Node in Scorpio, it's opening us up to new potentials that we didn't see before. And because this is in the Earth sign, it's important to note that it is about what is happening around you, what you're gathering information from, your sources, your resources, the facts, the details, all of that. It has an added weight to it with this conjunction to Pluto. And there's something here too that's meant to show us how the power of the mind creates our reality. And I feel like what we're learning is how to be better communicators, to be better at asking questions, to be aware of what we're taking in, how we are perceiving what's happening around us. And I also have this feeling that we are elevating our mental consciousness, but it might not be immediate. It could be something that picks up later on in the month or later on in the year, where you're going to look back on January and there's going to be something you see very differently. So this has some kind of long-term effect where you look back on this particular Mercury retrograde phase and see what it shifted in you. That again, you might not see it right now today, but there could be something that was very formative, very powerful, very transformative, and it's because of this Mercury retrograde. Then we're going to see Mercury re-enter Aquarius on February 14th, where Mercury will be much stronger in Aquarius, very smart, very aware, tapped into other realms, other answers, other possibilities and solutions. This type of Mercury energy in Aquarius supports us with the long-term planning and perspectives, also opens us up to receiving other messages and transmissions from other realms, being able to take in more information, more stimuli, as it's quite quantum. And this will help with further understanding what you were learning during Mercury retrograde. So once Mercury is back in Aquarius, we will then have the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury all in Aquarius together. And we are really digging into more potentials in our lives. I feel like we've entered some new energy frequencies. It's like there's this new playground of energies that are now possible. And it's because of the retrogrades and because of that hurdle we jumped over or that energy we moved through that has opened us up to seeing things in a new light, seeing things in a new way, staying open to what you are learning and experiencing, but it feels like it's integrating even further into us. It almost feels like there's more light coming in that's really landing in us at a cellular level, energetic level. I mean, I feel this energy is quantum. I mean, it's these cosmic light codes coming through that we're feeling. And these energies are shifting us. They're moving us forward. And we're not always clear on what it means or what is really happening. It's almost like it's outside of the human mind, the human realm. And so with this Aquarius season energy moving through us, we are meant to expand who we are, our energy fields, our ability to understand what we're capable of. And then at the same time, it can feel overwhelming. It can be like, well, how do I piece this all together? How does this all come into this puzzle and fit? And that's part of what we're expanding into, especially during this particular Aquarius season, which has a seriousness to it because of Saturn in Aquarius. And it also feels like we're meant to be grounded in this reality in a whole new way. And I'm feeling that as a new level of detachment, where you're able to detach from energies that aren't correct for you anymore, that don't fit, energies that you're able to step away from, not get involved in, maybe not feel as triggered or even as emotionally attached to. I'm feeling like there's this beautiful protective barrier that shows us what matters and what doesn't. And it feels like this protective barrier is an energy that supports our ongoing evolution and growth, but keeps out the lower frequencies or anything that we've moved away from. So there's something about this Aquarius season that feels like we're further detached from where we've been and we're more in alignment with where we're going. Almost like this protective energy field is keeping our aura strong, our energy strong. It's keeping our vibration strong amongst all these other energies all around us. So again, I'm getting the visual of it similar to like a protective bubble that maybe you've even used in a meditation or a visualization, a protective bubble around your aura, around your energy field. And this protective bubble keeps in what's authentically you. It keeps in the energy that you've been growing and developing in yourself. It allows you to really feel into that, be aware of that, and understand your own consciousness while keeping out anything that is a lower vibration. It's almost like this is where there is a separation between worlds or a separation between energy fields that just feels really strong right now. And you could feel like you're more detached from certain things in your life. Again, you're more detached maybe from external energies or things on social media or anything on the mainstream media or anything that is no longer of interest to you. It could feel like it's easier to be in control of your energy and to maintain this container. It's like a container of light, a container of your frequency. And that is part of the Aquarius energy where we're meant to understand who we are, to really go into how we're individuals and how we're different. But that's exactly what is needed. That's how the collective energy rises and grows, is that we are able to integrate the diversity. We're able to draw on each other's strengths. We're able to do something together, and that's how we collectively evolve. And I feel like this Aquarius season, it has a seriousness to it, because of the bigger missions we're involved in. We are moving through some very big mission energy in this lifetime, and that's where the seriousness is. That's where we're not looking to backpedal or go back and forth or do anything that takes us out of that energy. And I just feel this strengthening in so many of you. The light workers, starseeds, empaths, healers, energy readers, guides, however you identify or whatever feels right for you, there's a strengthening of your frequency. And it's very strong right now. I feel like it's very strong in February, into March, April. It's like you could even feel that. You could feel that you've crystallized something, that there have been parts of your own self-identity that you are so sure of and you're so in love with that you're just in this place of ownership. And I'm seeing this as a new grid around the planet, a new grid of light, a new grid of activation, and a new grid that's rising up above the matrix grid. And it's almost like this second grid that is beautifully encapsulating the earth. I mean, this is a really powerful force field, and it's a very powerful energy that I'm seeing move all around the planet. And it's something that once you tap into it, you're going to feel it. And I feel like that's part of the message of this particular podcast is the activation of your light, your frequency, and your connection to others. And wow, it's so beautiful. And I'm seeing it as multiple colors. I mean, it has this very clear, crystalline, white energy, almost like selenite. And then I also see it with yellow, like very beautiful gold, and also purple, the lavender, the higher frequencies of the crown chakra, as well as the violet flame of transmutation. So that's what I'm feeling so strongly, is that we have created a beautiful new energy grid that is really strong, really alive, really powerful, and we're each feeling it in our own ways. And I feel like we're each beautifully protected from external energies or anything that would diminish your light or diminish your energy. And in fact, this is so beautifully on time, because now I want to talk about the energy of Valentine's Day, which does relate to this so strongly, because Valentine's Day happens during Aquarius season, and Aquarius is about collective love. It's about the energies that we share with each other. It relates to friendships and acquaintances and the people we know in the world. It relates to perhaps when you were younger and you would buy a Valentine's Day and give it to every person in your class. That's the Aquarius energy of Valentine's Day. Whereas romantic love or romantic energies is connected more to Leo, which is about your heart, passion, receptivity, how you're sharing and exchanging energies from the heart at a more individual level. This is a collective energy field. And so that would be one way to amplify the energy of Valentine's Day, which, yes, is a very big holiday. It's become a very big marketing holiday, as we know. But this is an energy of the collective love for humanity. And it reminds me of the archetype of the water bearer, which is the Aquarius symbol of the water bearer pouring light and consciousness onto the planet, pouring love into humanity. So if you can work with that energy in whatever way that resonates with you, that is how we can make the most of the collective energies at this time. And so for all the beautiful ways that romantic love matters and it expands our hearts and we want to feel love, give and receive love, this is a holiday about the collective energy fields. This is actually more about how you share your energy and what you offer out into the world that is better for humanity. So just keep that in mind around Valentine's Day, whatever that means to you, because it's a reminder of how we're all connected. And I think it directly relates to this higher energy grid of light and to what we put our time and attention into. So it's just a conscious way to work with these astrological energies at this time and to be more aware of them. Now, as we move through the week, the most powerful day will be February 16th. And that's because we have quite a bit happening here, which is also the Leo full moon at 28 degrees. So during this particular full moon, we have a number of things happening. So we do have Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. They will be at 15 degrees. And they are now traveling together, as we've been talking about. And they are the feminine and the masculine on the same page in Capricorn, which is about what you are accomplishing and doing. It's also about harmony, balance, synergy, and alignment. So you could feel that in yourself. You could also sense that in your workplace, which is Capricorn. People you are interacting with, whether those are colleagues, coworkers, a boss, a mentor, you could have a sense that you're on the same page, things are moving forward, and it's easier to make progress together. Now, also on February 16th, this is when the sun in Aquarius is going to square the nodes of fate at 27 degrees. And the energy is even stronger because it also is the Leo full moon. So we have a lot of energy here happening around 27 and 28 degrees of the fixed signs. So if you have planets or points at 27 or 28 degrees of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, this energy is very big for you. We also have powerful energies with the earth signs. So 27, 28 degrees of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you are also being energized and activated around February 16th. So what we have is the sun and the moon in a full moon, which happens every month, but now they're interacting with the nodes of fate. And the nodes are North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. And when the sun and the moon are squaring them, something comes up as a choice point. There are energies here that could feel that they're uncomfortable, they're applying pressure, there's a tension. It's asking you to look at what you're ready to choose next, what direction you're headed, where you need to make some changes or shifts in your life, and where there's something here that could change in its trajectory. There's pressure here. We also have Pluto in Capricorn trining the North Node in Taurus, sextiling the South Node in Scorpio, and that Pluto energy is very powerful. It's about the time of transformation, meaning it's right on time. There's something here rising up in your psyche that you're ready to transform, and it's returning you to love for yourself. So for all the ways we just talked about Valentine's Day being a collective energy and about the love we share and feel amongst ourselves as a human family, this particular Leo full moon could be busting open something in your heart, could be applying a pressure or bringing in something that you're designed to flourish from, that's opening you up. Again, this is a very powerful energy whenever we have Pluto interacting through a trine to a planet or point. It's evolutionary. And what I find fascinating is that this particular energy started in November when we had the Taurus lunar eclipse at 27 degrees. Now we have that same point activated and opening up. And Pluto is going to continue to work with this energy throughout the year and into next year through retrogrades and through this return to the 27, 28 degrees of Capricorn. So what does all this mean? It means that we are evolving individually and collectively in our ability to co-create new energies on this planet based on love, acceptance, harmony, peace. Peace is an energy associated with Taurus. The energy of what are we ready to build next? Where are we ready to put in new structures, new systems that are honoring of these higher frequencies? There's energies here that we're going to be deeply reprogramming and working with, but it's going to have more flow and grace, and it's right on time for our soul's growth. This is significant, and it starts to really show up even more with this Leo full moon. So essentially, we have multiple energies happening around February 16th, making next week a big deal, making it even more prominent or significant if you have planets or points at 27 or 28 degrees of the fixed signs or the earth signs. There's something that you're ready to step into, something you're ready to work with and move towards. A new area of growth is opening up. Something is also being accessed in your psyche at a deeper level of your being that's going to rise up and show you if it's your truth. And I feel like it just connects to the heart. There's something rising up that you're meant to love and accept about yourself that maybe you didn't see or you weren't in contact with before. Now, keep in mind, another really beautiful thing happening is that the North Node is ruled by Venus. The South Node in Scorpio is ruled by both Mars and Pluto. So we have the ruler of the North Node, the ruler of the South Node, conjunct. Venus and Mars, the rulers of the North Node and the South Node, are conjunct, new starting point, new agreements, new soul contracts, new energies coming forward to move you forward, to take you out of where you've been based on the work you've done, the healing you've done, the karma you've cleared. what you've moved through emotionally and energetically, there is something shifting at a very profound level that you're going to feel, perhaps in a new way, or perhaps you've already been feeling it. But what I'm sensing is that we are truly moving into these new energies. We are moving into new parts of ourselves, and we're looking at what we're ready to shift because we feel the energy from our souls. So there's a deeper energy coming through here around the evolution and transformation that you're ready for. And it's going to work with each of us differently, which is always the case. But there's something here that's strongly activated that you're meant to really pay attention to and work with. Now, I have a video on YouTube for you discussing this Leo full moon even more, discussing it in terms of the chart and the chart dynamics. So please check that out as I go into more of the specifics of this energy. Also keep in mind that the sun squares the nodes of fate only twice a year. So when the sun is squaring the north node and the south node, that's where we're meant to look at the path we're on. Is it in alignment? Is it the right choice? What do we need to change? And there could be something that comes up where you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. And that Pluto trining the north node says to go towards the Taurus energy in your chart, to go towards the energies of feeling worthy, feeling seen, feeling valued, feeling accepted, to step into more of those parts of your energy, which is outside of the ego. So this is accessing more of your internal feminine energies, accessing more of your heart and where you have a sense of peace. I feel like this is a stabilizing energy where there's something here that you can count on in yourself. How are you trusting yourself? How are you honoring what you need? How are you really listening to what's important to you and not overly focusing on what other people are telling you or saying, or their opinions or their values or what they have invested? This is a strengthening of what is meaningful to you and allowing that to be enough. That's all you need right now. That's just what we're focusing on, is the sense of feeling strong and stable in your own energy and really accepting who you are. I'm feeling this energy trail move across multiple lifetimes as well. So this could be something that you're healing and sensing across lifetimes, across timelines and dimensions of time. It does feel that significant with Pluto involved. So something could come up for you that requires you to make a choice. And this energy says it's okay to soften. It's okay to loosen up. It's okay to go where your heart is calling you. It's okay to trust your feminine energies and what you're feeling. And in fact, that's where the growth is. And now I'm seeing this energy as a very big thing on the planet right now as we open up to more of the divine feminine energies within each of us and what that means, where we have possibly overdeveloped an ego, overdeveloped our mind. We've been out of balance or too reliant upon some of these other energies that have served us very well. But now we're understanding what needs to come online, what we need to trust even more, where we've even pushed parts of ourselves away or diminished it or didn't listen to those parts of ourselves that need to be heard. So this is where you could feel a discomfort. This is where you could feel pushed outside of a comfort zone because you're being asked to look at where your own feminine and masculine energies are in harmony and where they are not. And that's where you could have this transition point where you see the power of your feminine self just as you are in touch with the power of your masculine self. If you've been resisting any parts of yourself, those voices could get louder, something could come through or be shown to you around where you're out of balance or where you're ready to make some new choices that support all of your energy. Another energy that is strong right now would be the Pisces energies, as we have both Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, helping us detach, step away, not be overly invested. This is the energy of trusting and allowing whatever needs to unfold to unfold. This is where we could feel that it's easier to let some things go. It's easier to be forgiving or compassionate. It's also easier to apply that energy towards ourselves, where if you've been hard on yourself or if something has been really intense, you've been very involved or fixated on something, this could give you a sense of surrender. I'm willing to see where this goes. I'm willing to open up. I'm willing to step away and let it be whatever it needs to be. And with that Jupiter and Pisces there, it then allows spirit to do its best work. It reminds us that we don't have to figure it all out on our own, and that in fact, we can be very light as we're trusting. We can be very open to the unknowns because it feels easier to be in that space of not knowing. So the strong Pisces energy is also going to support us in our completion processes, allow us to end various cycles, whether those are energies within yourself, in your life, in something in your world. It's going to allow us to enjoy a completion and a letting go that perhaps previously felt difficult or hard. It is where we step back. It's where we allow the energy to do its work without our egos being involved. And I feel like that is a strong energy signature here, where we're able to look at how much of our egos want to interject or be in control. But perhaps you're seeing or sensing where it's also advantageous to step back and step away and be okay with just throwing your hands up in the air and not knowing, and allowing that to also be a superpower. And part of that Pisces influence is that we don't have all the answers all the time. We don't have everything in front of us. We can't see it all, but we can continue to trust and feel a deeper connection to spirit. Really strengthen that bond with God, Source, Spirit, the universe that is taking care of you, that is guiding you, that is a part of that protective bubble around your energy to help you do what you need to do, especially as you trust yourself and allow things that are no longer needed or necessary to fall away. This can be gentle. This can be easy. This can be a softening where it's easier to let go of some things that maybe you had a really strong grip on. You had very clear understandings or expectations. And this is where you can allow the energy to continue to move and evolve without feeling like you have to control it or that you have to figure it all out on your own. I also feel this as support for getting out of our own way. Getting out of your own way. If you've been overthinking something, trying to overmanage it, over-control it, if you've been slowing down a process or slowing down something that would be for your best and highest good, this is an energy that can just help you say, I'm not going to try to force this. I'm going to trust what happens. And as soon as we do that, with Jupiter here, something new shows up. Something comes through that is divinely guided and divinely timed. So if you're feeling that nudge, if you're feeling something needs to be released, trust it. Trust it because there is beautiful support right now for moving through things that we don't really see maybe as clearly as we'd like, but there is support here for something even better to show up when you get your ego or your mind out of it. This is really good to be aware of now because as we move into March and April, the Pisces energies are going to be very strong. And it's going to feel like a grand clearing out, a grand removal. That things that maybe were heavy and weighing you down and really burdensome, you just let it go. Maybe you just don't care. Maybe there's something that you're no longer interested in, you're no longer wanting to be connected with. And I feel like the more that we're opening up our energies to these new potentials and possibilities, the more we're going to see miracles and blessings and beautiful manifestations show up beyond what we had planned. So this is the energy of We're not planning everything. We can't plan it all. We can't schedule it. We can't have it all figured out. And that's a beautiful gift. That's meant to lighten our load and be something that we accept and work with regularly from a place of power. Because the Pisces energy can also be very overwhelmed by the world. It can feel defeated and discouraged and just want to give up. There's a sense of, I don't care anymore. I just want to give up. But that can come from a place of powerlessness. Whereas when you're in your strength in Pisces, you're excited or open to what you don't know because you know that spirit has this covered. You know that your soul is orchestrating something really magical and special, and that can be an energy that you're plugged into. So we're looking at how well we're able to detach, how well we're able to be in our power and our light when we don't understand or know everything that's moving through us. And this is also a huge gift. It's meant to help us work with our energy in a more fluid way. And it's also meant to support us in alleviating our human worries, our human burdens, the things that our mind will spin in. This is where we can say, I'm passing this over to spirit. I know my soul has this covered. I know there's magic in the air. I know that something divine and beautifully guided is going to come through. And when you give energy to those types of thoughts and those types of experiences, then of course that's what will show up and come through. So we're learning how to master this Pisces energy. And it's interesting because we're moving out of the age of Pisces. We're moving out of these lower vibe Pisces experiences that have felt powerless, that have had the energy of, who am I? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. And all the ways that we have unconsciously given our power to external authorities, sources, or energies outside of us. Now, as we move further into the age of Aquarius, we are also embracing what we do know about ourselves, and we're allowing ourselves to master the Pisces energy from a place of higher consciousness and deeper wisdom. So these are quite big energies that we're working with. And when you look at the current transiting planets, you'll see that they're in a lineup of astrological signs, meaning they're in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. This is where the strong energy is at this time. This is where our focus is. And this is where we are meant to be making progress, movement, and clear decisions around what matters to us going forward, especially in these new energies. So with all planets direct, it's going to be easier to make progress. There will be a gaining of momentum and more acceleration. And there's also very big energies around February 16th with this Leo full moon that squares the nodes of fate. So there's something here that could be a game changer, that could shift energy for you, or that you could feel very powerfully if this Leo full moon is activating your chart specifically. The sun will enter Pisces on February 18th. At 11:42 a.m., that's Eastern time. So when the sun enters Pisces, there will be a further softening of these energies and even more of these themes that I just discussed around the Pisces influence. So if this week is big for you energetically, you'll be ready for some downtime or a break as we move further into Pisces season. And we will also energetically need more downtime in order to allow these energies to further support us. So it feels like we're on the other side of some very big realizations and understandings. You could still be contemplating it and figuring things out. Mercury is still in its shadow zone. It will clear its shadow at 10 degrees of Aquarius on February 24th. So we're still piecing things together, but there's energy moving us forward here. And I hope that you're feeling it and you're able to make the most of it as we move further into February. For those of you who have birthdays coming up, February, March, April, yes, you can still get the solar return course for 50% off. Just use coupon code BIRTHDAY, and that's going to show you how to read your solar return chart for the year ahead, which gives you insight into the themes, the lessons, the areas of growth that you will be encountering over the next 12 months. Also helps you understand what is supporting you, what you're developing, and how to make the most of the themes of that year too. So please check that out. It's a course that you can access year after year. So you buy it once, you can come back next year and keep returning to it to keep reading your solar return chart. This is a great way to understand what's going on for you on a yearly basis and also to fine-tune reading your own astrology energies. The link is below this podcast, and you can also find out more about my current offerings, programs, and teachings over at mollymccord.online. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that at least one message in this podcast resonated with you and is supporting you in where you're at right now. I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for another podcast episode. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel where you'll find new videos released every Friday covering a particular astrological topic. I wish you a beautiful Leo full moon. It is a big one. Be sure and check out that video on YouTube as well. And I hope it opens you up to even more of what you're ready to receive and experience next. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here very soon. Wishing you a beautiful day ahead.